So Joseph's going to start us off here with the hero strategy. Very important dice roll, and I think if you were to go first against any deck, man, you really want to go first against a deck like Runick using heroes.
Ooh, and I already see one of the free copies of Fusion Destiny, which obviously was brought back to free not that long ago, and it's a powerhouse in this specific deck, and that's what we start things off with.
One of the few decks remaining that can still summon Destroy Phoenix Enforcer.
Exactly. Yeah, we saw in the previous years how powerful of a card that is, and still holds true. And that also a way in which you can get to this Dark Angel that really is powerful, because it basically works similarly, even better than Imperial Order. So essentially, outside of Forbidden Droplet back in the day, there were not many outs to it. And
showing off the Starlight Rare Fusion Destiny there.
Yeah. Bit of a flex on his opponent with the combined Ultimate Rare Fusion Destiny. But
hopefully that isn't the end of the turn here. We did send Malicious, combining with Denier, an absolutely incredible card. Semi-recent, you know, kind of new. Allows you to recycle those not once per turn Destiny Hero Malicious, which Joseph is going to activate here.
Nice. We have seen Malicious, of course, in some of our Time Wizard tournaments, especially the March 2010, but still, 2023, we see some Malicious action here.
It's an incredible card because it isn't once per turn. It gives you a level 6 body, a Dark Warrior, which is very usable in so many decks over the course of the last few years. I think I remember specifically playing it in Burning Abyss once upon a time in 2018.
Weird.
You know, able to use it for link climbing, but we're going to use it for what I suppose the real purpose of it is, and that's to utilize a link summon of a hero.
Yeah, essentially, I mean, Fusion Destiny was used by a lot of decks. Prank Hits I got on top of my mind, for example, with obviously the Predaplant Anaconda, and in those decks it was pretty much the last card you would activate because it locks you into Dark Hero monsters. But when you're playing an hero deck, obviously that restriction is a lot less relevant.
Yeah, he's more than happy to just activate that Fusion Destiny as his first card because it's actually the deck it was made for.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean
yeah.
And also having the Destroy Phoenix Enforcer on the field also, I think is usually one of these annoying cards to play around.
It's really, really resilient because of the recursion effect that allows it to activate in the graveyard when it's destroyed to bring itself back on the following turn. It was a sort of a little debate, I suppose, a year ago or so when people were playing Anaconda. It's like, do you want to go Dragoon? Do you want to go Fusion Destiny?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a good argument, especially because, like, I think, I mean, in the hero deck, having the Fusion Destiny gives you such a huge advantage, and now we can see Philipp maybe might not be super familiar with the hero, as we mentioned before, might be not a popular decision, and now
there it is. Still got nightmares, honestly. Thinking back at that card, yeah,
there is the Dark Angel searched by Elemental Hero Stratos. Unbelievable. We're normal summoning Stratos
in 2023.
Yeah. This deck has really gone through so many different iterations over the years. Is that a link summon?
Ooh. Yeah, because you need 3 exactly to get... no. It seems as if it was a link summon, but he used the Enforcer to just pop itself in the link. Makes more sense.
Right.
Because you need 3 to activate the Dark Angel, and now the lock is in play. So his opponent is in trouble. At the same time, though, this was really good against the deck I was using back then, which was Despia, because you had no links. In this deck, it's not as strong because maybe you can get to a monster, but then with the Phoenix, you can destroy the other monster. So you know where the idea comes from. But it's actually usually you would summon everything in defense. Otherwise, they can just crush into the Stratos. So I want to see where the Stratos. If he's going to stay on the field or, otherwise this lock is obviously less, so it's going to stay on the field.
Yeah, so I mean, next standby phase, Destroy Phoenix Enforcer comes back. If he tries to go battle phase and lock, he can
destroy his own, but the problem is that if he has a monster, then he can link summon potentially. So let's see. I do see 3 monsters in the end, and there are some of those Camellias, I think. Let's see.
Yeah, Camellia is the sort of the Armageddon Knight of the Naturia deck, allowing you to send to the graveyard And it also has the really important replacement effect as well, right?
Yeah.
So
does so much.
The Naturia cards need to tribute in order to activate some of their effects, but you can actually mill 2 from the top of your deck. So you can actually end up with multiple negates using the Naturia Sunflower.
And this, I think, was one of the main reasons why Dinkabui was playing this deck also at the past YCS, because most of our players were not so familiar with the deck, and the Naturia cards themselves have so many interactions, and I mean, it's super difficult, as you mentioned before. I mean, the Sunflower itself, I think, is incredibly powerful.
Yeah. Here, we could have seen an interesting thing from Joseph potentially, because the cricket summons 2 if your opponent controls the air attack. He could have chained the Phoenix to pop both of his monsters potentially to shut down plays from Philipp, but seems like he's gonna wait for now. And here we see one of the locks, that is the Sunflower, as mentioned.
Yeah.
So this puts him in a bit of a precarious position here, because now that the Sunflower is here and online, the Destroy Phoenix Enforcer might not get as much value as he would hope.
Especially because, as mentioned, Sunflower is essentially gonna be able to negate twice.
Yeah.
Because you have the Camellia recurring effect. So let's see.
Don't forget the Mole Cricket as well also works as a long-term resource. Whenever your opponent special summons a monster from the extra deck, you can bring it back out from the graveyard. You can just see here as well, like, just how like formidable this combo is, because Philipp is just sitting with multiple spells in his hand that he just can't use.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So what do you think the advantages are of the Naturia version, specifically of Runick? We've seen so many people playing Sprite, massive synergy with the fact that they're all level 2. What is it that Naturia offers Runick?
It's definitely a different deck. I would say probably less powerful on the one hand. So Sprite alone has a more powerful opening, but I think going second, the Naturia deck is better. So it has more, like Cricket alone going second is really annoying. And I think most of all the advantage is your opponent is not as familiar with it. So that also pays some considerations. But here we see Book of Moon, okay.
It's crazy to think that Book of Moon, just such a simple card. For
I
years
know.
it's been around and people are main decking it again, you know?
Yeah.
I think the logic is like maybe the Kashtira matchup is where you're trying to stop your opponent from using their special summons.
But that's one of the beauty of Yu-Gi-Oh! Probably the thing, if not one of the, by far one of the things that I like the most as well. You can just have these cards that have been sitting there for so many years and they just suddenly become really useful.
Yeah. -1. Best -1 in the game, some people say.
Could be.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna chain a blessing, it seems.
But there's the Dark Angel.
Yeah.
So is it just negated?
Exactly. That's what happened.
Did Philipp forget that there was Dark Angel on the field?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Very, very unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you're just in the heat of the moment, you know, you can get a little ahead of yourself.
I mean, we mentioned how playing on stream is never an easy task. But here, as mentioned, you can link someone with the Dark Angel. Yep. So against some strategies, it's definitely less effective, and especially for the, how we baptize it, the new Diamond Dire Wolf, which is the Furier. And now, he's gonna try and activate it maybe. Not super effective, obviously, against the Phoenix Enforcer.
This might be an opportunity to try and, you know, force out the last remaining disruption from Joseph, hit the Destroy Phoenix Enforcer, potentially go for the back row. But most important of all, he has access to spells now.
Yeah,
exactly.
And I think this may be a game changer for him, because without playing with the Runick cards, of course, you're in trouble. But here with the 4 higher, let's see what he decides to do. He's just considering his options. I think he has at least a couple of spell cards in his hand.
Yeah, he has a lot, and obviously could have had the blessing as well, but...
Yeah, it's a shame he's had to lose that.
Yeah, especially because I think he has a second. Oh, and yet,
he has Dark Ruler and Book of Moon, but chooses not to use it after the Link summon.
Yeah, so actually not that many... He has no Runick cards at all.
No access whatsoever?
Yeah.
So that's one of like the deck building problems, isn't it? Because you need to, it's 2 separate engines that don't do anything directly together. You have to sort of draw an equal portion amount of each engine.
I think he might be done, honestly. Maybe setting a Book of Moon and something, and Blessing if he wants, but like, if he already used the Blessing, yeah, that's it.
Do you think that Dark Ruler definitely should have came down after the Link Summon?
Possibly, but most importantly, it was the Blessing, which obviously should have been kept and used now. And as mentioned, now he's done. So the Phoenix will come back, and play is back to Joseph, who can actually have access to some pretty big damage if allowed. So let's see.
Well, if there's one deck in the game that can do a lot of damage, it is Heroes, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, we saw it with Leonard in the Speed Duo tournament, so you know, we can see it here as well.
Double the life points to contend with in 8,000 rather than the Speed Duo
Yeah.
here. But okay, we got a second Blessing. So I think we're probably going to try to go for a Mole Cricket play here. Okay, going to bring back the Camellia.
Yeah, makes sense. You want to summon first so that you can use the additional effects potentially when the Phoenix comes back. Let's see.
Sacred Tree, I think, is one of the older Naturia cards,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Which means it's not once per turn. So you see people resolving it multiple times in a single turn here. It's absolutely incredible, especially with the Runick cards. When you discard with your Hugin, it feels so good to discard a card that has a trigger effect in the grave.
Is he actually using like Kelbeck or those kind of cards even after one off? Because that was also a tech card of the deck, obviously in Philipp deck, I mean.
No Ishizu cards or Exchange of the Spirit in his deck, but yeah, I see what you mean. There's definitely a good way to utilize that across all three engines. So just double checking the cards here. Unfortunately, Joseph not acquainted with the German language.
I can't blame him, honestly. It's even for us, it's the worst to understand because it's obviously not based. Yeah, because I mean, French, Italian, and Spanish are based off Latin. You know, it's somewhat doable to understand, but German is like a Germanic language, so it's like
Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro and history teacher Marcello.
Exactly.
You've got it all. You've got it all.
I wish.
All right, so Joseph just double checking all of the effects that are in the graveyard here, just in case there's. Oh, all right. Infinite Impermanence comes down on the Camellia.
Good for Philipp that he didn't use the same column, at least from our last future match. Yeah.
No column incidents this game, but this is the this is the important turn 3 clapback for Heroes. Now he achieved everything that he wanted to. Dark Angel lockdown on turn 1, be able to have just enough resources to survive, and now it really is just Joseph's game to try and navigate to victory here.
And there goes Malicious once again.
Yeah, because I think now if we're Joseph, you just go and try to push enough damage, right?
Yep. Wonder if we'll be seeing Wake Up Your Hero in this match. He is indeed playing it in his extra deck.
Yeah, one of the few recent additions to the deck.
Do we have a Denier in the graveyard? Did he use that last turn?
I think so.
He already used it, yeah.
It's such a good card here. The Cross Crusader, I think this is. The allows you to bring back as well. So just trying to get as many possible monsters onto the field here. But this is where the Mole Cricket gets the trigger.
Exactly, has also a face down Book of Moon, I believe, of his own. So there is the Denier, yeah. And as you mentioned, the good thing is you get back this Malicious, which is not once per turn, so you can keep on using it potentially.
So what do you think Mole Cricket gets to set up here?
Because the Sunflower is gone, and he's only playing one, I believe, right?
Yeah, he's playing one.
So it's tough to actually do something.
I don't think it achieves anything without the spell, right?
No.
Not really. You get the Camellias, more Camellias, but like, not really in a pleasant spot at the moment. And yeah, it's gonna tribute it for the Crusader, and he gets one of his Vision Heroes, which he didn't yet access, but usually they are
Vision Hero Vion.
Yep, key part of the combo.
Yeah, so on summon, it does get to send a monster from the deck to the graveyard. Gonna go for Shadow Mesh. Shadow Mesh triggers to add any hero monster. Could go for Honest Neos if we're trying to push damage. And the secondary effect of Vision Hero is the the Vion is adding a polymerization.
And he does play polymerization, so maybe we could see, as you mentioned, some of these new fusion cards.
I didn't quite catch what he added, but I think it was a plasma.
Yeah.
Could be. He's playing one copy of Plasma
Plasma
as well. Yeah. Talking of old cards, yeah.
Hero decks just have so many ways to lock down your opponent in this day and age, you know? It's the deck that's been around for so long, and they've had support like, I mean, I wouldn't say Plasma support, that thing is ancient, but still being relevant even until today. Just a very simple simple effect, negate your opponent's monsters.
Yeah, because you have so many different solutions, no? You have the Absolute Zero, otherwise you have the AC to get rid of your opponent's Spell Trap cards, then you have the Dark Law.
Yeah.
You have so many different options.
I think Plasma was my first ever teen, Yu-Gi-Oh! Teen, back in like 2009 or something, yeah. I still have it.
I think my first tin was the Dragon Ruler tin. There's one for each attribute, I think, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good one.
Yeah.
Better than the Plasma one, for sure. But I mean, you know.
Here's the Destiny Hero Malicious being brought out for the 3rd time in this match. Despite it being limited to 2, utilizing the combination with Denier.
You don't need a 3rd one.
Or a 4th one.
Ooh, okay.
There we go. Some damage.
Is it the Tribute of Plasma? It is indeed.
There he goes. Wow. Been a while. Been a while, buddy. Yeah.
Choosing to lock down with Plasma rather than attempting to try and go for some kind of game shot.
It's not actually great because Book of Moon is amazing against Plasma. So that's face down for Philipp, who is going to read it,
For sure. Just making sure that it is possible to just simply book the Plasma here.
Yeah. 600 defense only, as you can see, so not a big threat.
But again, the problem is just destroy Phoenix Enforcer. It's you know, going to be able to come back every single turn, and every single turn it's going to be able to just destroy a card. So
yeah, with the Sunflower being gone previously, here I think you're forced to activate the Book of Moon on the Plasma.
Yeah, not a surprise. Book of Moon great in this spot. And yeah, as you mentioned, Nadir, I mean, Enforcer technically is not even that good against this deck because of the Runick package. But there are no Runick cards at all yet for Philipp, so that's why it is being so great in this game 1.
Yeah, Philipp basically just playing with a Naturia deck at this stage.
Yeah.
So how do you think you actually deal with the Destroy Phoenix Enforcer in this situation?
You need to get to the Runick cards, but we do see Polymerization and actually use the
Sunrise.
Potentially. I can't tell if he has any. No, he's probably top decking, right? Because he can use that to draw 2 and discard 1 or something like this. Yeah, but let's see. So he goes for Sunrise.
This one gets the Miracle Fusion out of the deck here. There it is. And this is definitely a pretty simple way to try and attack for game. Yeah.
And as mentioned, now he draws 2 because...
Is it the Liquid?
Yeah, exactly. The Liquid. And now he gets rid of Stratos.
Declaration of attack of Vision Hero, sorry, no, Vision Hero, Elemental Hero Sunrise. Destroying a card helps you clear the field. And let's see if we can find 8,000 on this turn. No more disruptions left from Philipp here. It really is just a case of, can we navigate through this?
Because I think Philipp is only left with the Dark Ruler no more in hand, or maybe another card. How many cards does
he has a few cards, but he has like another Blessing, which he couldn't use, and I think another Camellia, maybe. Yeah.
So the Mole Cricket is activating its effect now.
I think he might only have Camellia.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's the only one remaining. Yeah, he's in the graveyard.
He's playing,
It can summon itself?
Yeah.
Wow, all right, yeah. I mean, using this just to wall up, basically, try and survive. There should be some piercing damage available somewhere from Joseph, I think, right? If I'm not mistaken, might be a way to still plow through this Naturia wall here that we've created.
And yeah.
So I think that's a Destroy Phoenix Enforcer being used on the Sunrise.
And here we see Miracle Fusion coming
2,
down.
3, 4,
yeah, that's what's
5,
coming.
6, 7, 8, 9.
Oh, wow.
10, 11. 11
Crazy.
banishes from Miracle Fusion.
Wow. And there it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get your game on. Wake up your elemental hero. There it is. It attacks equal to the number of materials used for its summon.
Yeah, and it gains 300 for each. So it gains basically 3,300 and it becomes, yeah, 5,800. Yeah, that's crazy. Wow.
Let's just wait till Philipp to read this card, get to the end of the sentence here and realize what's going on.
It's a pretty long text, to be fair, so yeah.
Doesn't even need to wake up because it's not a dream.
Yeah, unfortunately. I feel you, Philipp, I feel you.
So are we just double checking, I think, maybe the number of materials?
I think he might have used plasma as well, or not?
Ah, used
yeah. I think he used plasma from field as well. That's why it's gone banished. Yeah.
Okay.
So a 12 material just in case. Yeah. Okay. And now then it's gonna be a 6,100 attack monster, I believe. So
that attacks
the Camellia and
yeah,
that's enough. I mean, 20,000 attacks. They're gonna be there. And Joseph, wow, takes it with the wake up your elemental hero. Convincing way to end it for game one, and now, as mentioned, he's the winner, and he's back to Philipp, who might have not prepared a side deck for hero, I can bet, but it's gonna have to improvise. And what do you guys think his best solution might be?
I don't think you really need to change anything going first in Naturia, right?
Yeah, I mean, just maybe Ash Blossom goes in and Evilly Match goes out. Because I think Philipp will go first, most likely, if it really feels like, especially after what we saw and witnessed in game one. I mean, looking at his side deck, he has most of his cards for going second.
A lot of options there, yeah.
The thing is that if you're playing against hero, how do you feel like?
Well, I think if you just set up Naturia Beast, is there a way to deal with that?
I mean, if he's playing the Dark... Yeah, exactly, the honest.
Honest Neos, yeah.
I mean, you might have a few because you have some extenders, but... The question is, so we have seen, as you mentioned, a lot of old cards coming back, and one of them is actually in the side decks for a lot of players with Weaken, which is the Organism continuous trap. So Grave of the Organism, Ancient Organism, and that's usually for Kashtira. But I think it's actually really good against heroes if you think about it, because like the Fusion Destiny are all among... You know, the Enforcer cannot come down. Yeah. And you can stop, you know, the Miracle Fusion target. So maybe if Phillips, you know, gets on my line of thought, he could even see that card in action in this one. And yeah, who knows? Maybe.
Not sure who popularized this trap card. You know, I wouldn't know anything about that. But yeah, Grave of the Super Ancient Organism stops level 6 and above monsters from activating their effect or attacking. This means, well, in a deck like Heroes, you're going to be hard-pressed to find a way to deal with your opponent's field when all of your best monsters are level 6 and above.
But as mentioned, it's now back to him, hopefully getting some of his Runick cards, because for now he has been playing a straight-up Naturia deck. But we'll find out now in Game 2. Our players are ready, so let's go back to the table.
Like I said at the start, I'm a massive fan of the Naturia Runick deck, but unfortunately he just didn't see any Runick cards last game. And hopefully we can change that up here as Philipp tries to display for all of you at home just exactly what this deck can do.
I think now we have the opposite problem, which is not much of a problem, honestly. I think he has 4 or 3 Runick cards, but no Naturias. And that's much better regardless, because you can obviously draw cards with the Runicks into the Naturias, so...
Yeah, that's typically the game plan here is, you know, you start doing your deck thinning, gaining advantage with something like your Hugin, and then you get to draw with the Fountain, and finally, hopefully, we can see a Camellia off the top.
Also, because honestly, you only need 1 Naturia cards, and then they all get to each other, while Runicks, the more you have, the more you can draw with Fountain, so you'll take a 5 Runick cards, and yeah, that's exactly what's going on. He's potentially able to draw 3 cards, or let's see here. Yeah, the tip, nice one. So gonna draw 3. Amazing opening.
Yeah, these next 3 cards should hopefully try and get into one of those Naturias as mentioned. And I think we talked about it during the side decking. I think he has a Grave of the Ancient Organism in his hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So well spotted by Philipp. Okay, he actually gets rid of a pretty useful card. But now, yeah, let's see these draws. Does he pick up any Naturia card?
Can't quite tell.
Can't quite tell. Vanity Fiend would have been nice as well in this, but he's not playing. Yeah, he does. He does pick up Camellia at least, I can tell.
Yeah, so using the effect of Camellia gets you to the 1-card combo that you can do with the Naturias here. Oh, Mole Cricket, even better.
Cricket. Nice.
So this gets to special summon a monster out of the deck here, and benefiting from your opponent controlling a monster, you get to special summon 2, which we can use again on our opponent's turn. If Joseph goes into the extra deck, Mole Cricket brings itself back. That can give you more access to multiple disruptions in the shape of Sunflower. So the game plan is, with Naturia, what are you trying to do? You're trying to set up that Nat Beast, you're trying to set up that Sunflower, yeah?
Pretty much. Probably Sunflower more than the Beast, depending on the matchup, of course. But yeah, the idea is just having a lot of resources and pretty much playing a grind game, where with Runick and Naturia, you usually plus. Pretty much every card is at least a +1. And then the idea is at some point your opponent should finish their resources, and you can take it slowly, essentially. Yeah. But as you mentioned, he's gonna prioritize here going for a Synchro Summon, and that is exactly Naturia Beast, which is a lot of trouble for the Euro player.
There's so many decks we've seen over the years utilizing the Naturia Beast. It's finally time that we saw it in an actual Naturia deck, but I mean, we've seen this played. I want to say like maybe Adamantipator at some point in recent years. You could play that in there, you know. So there's definitely been a lot of inclusion for Nat Beast over the course of the last however many years he's been around, and it looks like that's going to be the end of the turn for Philipp here. That's pretty solid opening.
Yeah, very good one.
Probably the worst that could happen would be unevenly matched, I would say. Yeah. Let's see. I don't want to jinx it for Philipp.
Oh,
nice.
That's a good start. Impermon Naturia Beast.
Yeah.
So there is a way to bring back Naturia Beast on your opponent's turn, isn't there?
Potentially, yeah, but I'm not sure if he has more copies of, you know, the Blessing or cards like, let's see.
Looks like that is going to resolve now. The Infinite Impermanence deals with the Naturia Beast, so able to use his all-important spell card. That's a big Cosmic Cyclone.
Wow. This is big.
Yeah.
So Hugin has an effect that you can protect your cards from being destroyed by banishing itself for cost, and that's why I think people are opting to play Cosmic as their back row hate this format rather than Duster or Twister.
Yeah.
Circumventing that protection effect, and that is the 2 perfect answers to the end field here.
Yeah, as good as it gets for now.
But do we have Engine to capitalize and take advantage of this? Let's find out. Probably want to use some Runick cards from the hand, it looks like. Okay.
I mean,
I'm not sure if this really does anything, because it's on the new chain, you know, it won't be on the field, you won't be able to draw.
I mean, probably he's praying that this top card is something that he really needs for Engine, and it's gonna be relevant. He's gonna pay the cost for Naturia Beast, I believe, just to get more cards into the graveyard, maybe more Runick spells.
Ah, I see.
And the Cricket, which actually it's there, so that's a good potential hit.
Okay, interesting. There's a Vion hit off the top there. Wonder if...
Is he playing? Yeah, let's see how many.
I think he was playing 2. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and he was playing, 3 copies of the other.
Oh, wow. Fusion Destiny.
I mean, really unfair opening for now. We saw in game 1 how Fusion Destiny alone can give him so much advantage. And there is a super polymerization in hand as well. No, that's a mass change. Mass change, okay. For a moment it looked...
Philipp has to think in response here, because I believe we need to try and use the trap card Now, if it is organism, I'm pretty sure that's a super ancient organism.
Yeah, you need
so
to use it now.
Yeah, otherwise your opponent will simply, you know, chain the effect and destroy Phoenix.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay, and he picks
Scoops it
up.
up.
Okay,
All right.
Interesting. Okay.
That was pretty dominant.
Absolutely. Didn't want to risk it. I guess he played around a potential other Cosmic Cyclone. But yeah, this is 1-1, so we are going to game 3. And now it's back to Joseph. As mentioned, at the very end, he played it super safe, because he could have flipped the trap card, but then if there is a Cosmic Cyclone, you cannot chain Ash Blossom. Well, the opposite is possible. If there is an out to Ash Blossom, you can always, you know, chain the trap card afterwards. So maybe, yeah, he played it safe, but makes sense. He knew that if he survives this turn, it's over. 1-1. So let's see what's going to happen. What do you guys got?
Even Steven here. Well, naturally going first with this Dark Angel lock is going to be really strong, but like you mentioned, there's a lot of side deck options in Philipp's deck, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be fun, because on one side, Joseph, I think will set in for sure the Anti-Spell Fragrance alongside with the Pointer of the Red Lotus. And on the other side, I think that Philipp is super well prepared to go second against any kind of deck, because he's playing 3 Gamma Shield, then he has the Ash Blossom, which, I mean, against Hero are good. Then there's also the Kurikara, the Incarnate, which a lot of players are relying on this weekend. And also, just in case, also the Nibiru.
Well, I was going to mention, sometimes people say that the best end field for Salamangreat and Heroes is a Primal Being token.
And that's fair enough, and it's definitely one of the best cards, even in this matchup, so he's gonna bring those in. On the other hand, the Kaijus are interesting, because obviously they are great for dealing with the Phoenix, but you cannot deal with the Dark Angel on your side of the field, so at the same time it's not an out to that. But we'll see how it goes. I think it's going to be an even one regardless. We still have plenty of time on the round, so it shouldn't be an issue to end this one before the 45 minutes end. And it's still, as a reminder, a really important match, because they are on X1. And with the amount of players that we have, you really don't want to go X2 this early on. It's still obviously not guaranteed that you're out, but being X1 or X11 is really where you want to be in at the end of day 1, and they're going to try their best. Regardless, though, I think they are basically ready with their side deck, so let's jump back into the table to find out the winner of Game 3.
All right, so as mentioned, Joseph being the victor in Game 1, losing Game 2, now gets to decide that all-important Game 3 of who goes first. And very likely going to try and establish the same thing that we did on turn 1 of Game 1. And it really is just going to come down to playing this as optimally as you can, keeping your cool, and trying to go for that combo. And a little bit of hope that your opponent does not have the all-important Primal Being token.
I see a lot of traps, but I think again Fusion Destiny.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Hero Lives.
Okay, it's Zero Leaves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, we're not on risk of time, are we?
No.
No, no. Okay.
No, 17 minutes. The rest of the end, though, is really good, because Rivalry and a pointer, but a lot of life points down the line. So as you mentioned, he really needs to play this one quickly.
2,000 life points is what he could have just on the very next turn here.
Yeah.
What do you think of a pointer? I'm a huge fan of a pointer going first.
You are a huge fan?
I love a pointer going first.
I think it really depends on the deck. Like, on the one hand, I gotta say, I see a little bit of a trend. Like, by being a player that has been pretty much since the dawn of the game around, a pointer was there. It was never used. Now that it's limited to one, a lot of players are catching up on it. So were we sleeping all around throughout these years, or you know what I mean, or is it more of a trend? But I do agree that in some decks it's really, really strong. So definitely also a fan. And I think it's interesting with the triple tactic trust. I like it in combination with the card. So for now, really good opening.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if it's a one-card combo, but I mean, simply Hero Lives is definitely a lot for this deck.
Yeah. I mean, back in the Greek Championship I mentioned, of course, Predaplant Anaconda was there. Yeah. So you could get to the Enforcer much easier. Now it's probably changed a little bit the way you combo through, but it's still, Hero Lives is amazing, yeah.
Yeah, so I think with the Destroy Phoenix Enforcer versus Dragoon argument, kind of died with Verte Anaconda, didn't it?
Yeah, probably.
All right.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of decks were even using Anaconda to get to the Dragoon. So, like Subterror or those kind of decks were still somewhat able to compete because of that, but I guess...
Even today?
Yeah, we had a Subterror in Lyon, I think.
Yeah, we had a
right?
in the top cut, absolutely.
Well, in terms of the tier list of fusion monsters that can be summoned by sending materials directly from your deck, Fusion Destiny is up there with probably Branded Fusion almost.
Yeah, I mean, but you get the benefit of playing Dark Magician and flexing that you have topped with Dark Magician in your deck, like, yeah.
All right, so Joseph, well versed in this deck, going through the motions, and it looks like he is trying to play a little bit quick. He probably, you know, he's not super pressed for time, but you are down half of your life points on turn 1 with Hero Lives.
Yeah.
So needs to make sure that he has just enough to be able to go into the battle phase on turn 3 here. And here comes Denier recycling that Malicious. Destroy Phoenix Enforcer is being set up. And now we're going to go into Dread Decimator. Oh, actually, we're going to go into the extra hero.
Interesting.
The I forgot his name, but it resets mass change from your deck if that comes up.
Wonder Driver.
Wonder Driver, yeah.
Yep.
Adds back the resets the polymerization or a mass card from your graveyard when the hero is special summoned to a zone it points to. And now going to activate the polymerization here and use it to fuse with the Malicious and the Stratos. And going for... Come here, Elemental Hero.
Okay. Too early.
Yeah.
Got a little bit of ahead of himself there. There's the Sunrise, going to get the Miracle Fusion. All right, well, I didn't get a chance to take a peep at Philipp's hand.
Same.
You know, do you think it's one of those mind games or mental sort of states where you just kind of, you set your hand face down and you're just like...
I do that a lot. I'm not gonna lie, I do that a lot.
I have no response. Well,
yeah,
you wouldn't say that audibly, but yeah.
No, of course, you cannot say that.
Here's the Liquid Soldier. And here comes the draw to discard.
And there it is, yeah.
Yeah, summoning Wake Up Your Elemental Hero turn 1.
Yeah.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, they're just gonna check whether the deck was cut and gonna do it just in case.
So this is what I love so much about cards like Liquid Soldier. It's like you resolve them near the end of your turn, and when you've been deck thinning so much, post-siding, there's so many good cards.
Oh my god, he picked up, the Fragrance. So he has Fragrance, Rivalry, and Lotus. What an opening.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's brutal.
Yeah, this is exactly what I mean, just being able to get those all-important side deck cards. Side deck, something that Yu-Gi-Oh players, I feel like, don't really utilize to their best ability. You know, when it comes to deck building, sometimes people are just like, this seems good, I'll throw it in. But don't forget, at least 50% of your duels are played with a side deck.
Oh, I agree.
Oh boy.
What do you think is the correct order for these trap cards? Or at least rather for Fragrance and Lotus? Do you think it's better to use one before the other?
Do you think maybe Anti-Spell, Resolve, is that okay? And then Resolution,
I will go for that.
Yeah.
Just saying if my opponent has any response to that, and then activating the Lotus,
This isn't during the draw phase, is it? Or
no, we are still in the...
We're still going for this, okay. And we're going to get Darklaw.
Yeah, this is crazy.
I don't think you can ask for a better opening here from Joseph.
Yeah. Wow.
What an opening, honestly.
Yeah, that if you ever needed a demonstration of how Hero works and what you're trying to do in this current format, you've seen it all in this game. This is absolutely incredible. Not going for the Dark Angel as we did with Game 1, but those powerful continuous trap cards back there, backed up with the draw power of the Liquid Soldier, set up with the Darklaw. This is rough.
So we are in the draw phase.
Yep, this is the draw phase.
And for now, Anti-Spell is still face down. Huh? But we move to the standby, and the Enforcer is gonna come back, and then we're probably gonna see the Anti-Spell, I would say. But I think I would have liked it before.
In the draw phase? Yeah. Ooh, he's actually going for a pointer
so
first.
My question was then relevant with this order. But yeah, I would have liked it before, because if they have a Runick spell like Freezing Curse that can negate the Enforcer, you want it in the graveyard. Yeah. Interesting now.
Call by the Grave is usually one of the best outs to destroy Phoenix Enforcer, but that card has just kind of fallen off this format, hasn't it?
And here we see it on the Dark Lord, so it was a freezing curse, right? Or is it?
It's flashing fire.
Oh no, flashing fire.
Flashing
Okay,
fire,
yeah. I mean,
So this is just sort of a back and forth of passing the priority.
yeah, exactly.
So
No way. He
wow,
doesn't chain the anti-spell.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
That's
Yeah.
strange.
But this is still great news. Because unfortunately there is not much that can be done even after using the anti-spell afterwards. Because the fountain, you know, if there was a distraction there, that would have been nice, but yeah, it's gonna reveal the Shadow Mist. But yeah, definitely an interesting sequence there from Joseph.
And I think here we get rid of the dispelling.
I'm sure he'll shout at me after this, but I am really a little perplexed as to why we aren't using anti-spell.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a plan.
I mean, are we
surely?
I mean, now that you've seen the end, I think you don't use it.
Yeah, because now they're all quick
You wait
plays.
for the fountain. Because now you bait them, essentially. Even though the fountain doesn't do anything at the moment, because you have the same Runick spell.
Yeah.
So yeah, a bit of a weird spot at the moment. But yeah.
Important interaction with Runick Fountain is you can't actually draw if you activate a Runick on the same chain as the fountain. You have to activate the fountain, let it resolve.
Yep.
So I suppose in response to the activation of fountain, you could anti-spell, potentially. Unless we're just being really silly.
I think
Does
we
it just
just
not have an anti-spell or something?
No, the thing is, you wait for the Yugen. So they discard a card to get to the fountain, and then you flip the anti-spell.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at least they commit the -1 from the Yugen. That's the idea. Which, now that the Lotus resolves, makes sense. At the beginning of the turn, it's arguable. But now it's where you flip the anti-spell.
Yeah.
Please. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
You read him like a book, Marcello. All right, anti-spell fragrance. We've seen this card in so many different formats, in so many different decks, against so many unfortunate souls. This card not allowing you to activate spell cards until you have set them for a complete turn. That is absolutely debilitating against Runick, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because now Philipp just...
Because, I mean, yeah, as you mentioned, it's true that pretty much every Runick card is a quick spell, but the Fountain is the card that makes Runick really good. And you shut that down. And, yeah.
And here's the thing, even in a slow game where you'd have to set and then activate next turn, when you combine it with a card like Destroy Phoenix Enforcer, it can pop the cards that you set that you're trying to wait for.
It's checkmate, essentially.
And yeah, it looks like we're going into the end phase, and Joseph is activating the Destroy Phoenix Enforcer. Destroys itself and the Hugin, I suppose, just because, well, it's going to be forced out regardless. There it is, checkmate.
Checkmate.
Is it an Archfiend card? It is an Archfiend card.
I know because I played it in Speed Duel. But yeah, exactly.
All right, and you know, one of the worries we had potentially, maybe there was going to be a small problem with time, but yeah, not much to do under that anti-spell. 6 minutes remaining. We just do at least 4,000 damage, and it should be in the bag for Joseph here. At this stage, I mean, a trap card is the only thing that can really save you.
I think there's only Ash Blossom left, right?
Yep.
I think he discarded it, didn't he?
No, he discarded the Blessing. Yeah, Ash Blossom is the last card in hand. So technically could have said it, but I mean, for 6 minutes it's too long,
So, Naturia Runick, I suppose, having one of the biggest issues with the deck, potentially, going second, not as great.
Yeah, but to be fair, I mean, name me a deck that, like, it's met through a Phoenix Enforcer, Lotus, anti-spell, and by the way, Rivalry is face down, and like...
Yeah, we forgot about the rivalry, actually, didn't we?
There's a rivalry there, so it's really tough for any deck to beat this.
Maybe the evenly matched archetype?
Yeah, that's a nice archetype, All
right, Denier using the Malicious, able to bring it out once again for this duel here, and I don't know, are we just looking for style points at this point, maybe? You know, can we go wake up your hero for 15 or something this time?
Yeah.
Ash Blossom comes down on the Cross Crusader to tribute and special summon.
He needs to be careful though, because I think you need to play this as fast as possible, because I'm not sure you can do 6,000 now.
Yeah.
And if you can't, you probably win regardless, but you need to play as fast as possible, because
Yeah.
then you risk it. Okay, but for now it seems all right.
And that's the Dread Decimator.
Yeah.
So this card is gain 100 for each hero in the graveyard, and if it attacks the defense position monster, inflict piercing. So yeah, that's where your piercing damage comes from in heroes. And is this enough to put him over the threshold? It is. This is 5,000 damage. Oh, actually, yeah, the Lotus Pay. He's still actually not ahead in life points.
Yeah, that's why, the Lotus, yeah.
Oh, no.
So this is actually quite risky, because this is... I'm not sure how many heroes he has in grave, but let's see. It's all down to that.
Does it boost all of your heroes?
No, it boosts everything it points to, including itself. So yeah, it points both, basically. It boosts both, which might make it enough, but I'm not sure. He needs at least 5. Yeah, 5 engraved to be enough. Okay, it is enough.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Okay.
Well, a bit of a scare there, but
Yeah.
he is now technically in the lead. So provided that Joseph doesn't take any further damage.
This is really, really tough. Because now the Enforcer is going to come back once again, and with the anti-spell resolved, yeah.
Do you think you just immediately hit Fountain?
Yep. But now any Runick card is useless in the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
Just
Unfortunate. And here you can see just how crazy of a combo Enforcer plus anti-spell is. Yeah.
Another Runick spell hit. Anti-spell take another victim in this duel. Draws for turn, and it really is just a case of going to the battle and sealing this. Do we have anything to contend with? Oh, Stratos Pop!
Stratos Pop!
There it is!
There it is.
Stratos for game? Stratos for game? Wow.
What a match, and yeah, well played by both, but in the end, Hero was the deck that got it, and yeah, Joseph advancing with a 5-1 record. Quite an impressive feature with a deck like Hero, yeah?
I suppose we got to see the full spectrum of the hero plays. You know, we saw it going second, we saw it locking with Dark Angel, and that incredible duel that we saw there, being able to use the draw engine into multiple floodgates.
Also, given the amount of Runick players this week, and I think it would be super scary to play against this kind of deck, you know, not only for the Dark Angel, but also, you know, we have seen Anti-Spell Fragrance being played, and I mean, a lot of different things, but it showcased us how powerful the deck is, especially in game one. It was, I think...
Yeah, I mean, we saw the ending with the Wake Up Your Elemental Hero, which was great to witness. But as you mentioned, it's, again, one of those decks where usually you would focus on the monster package and the side deck would be focused on that. Well, then when they side both Fragrance and Rivalry, you kind of want to side both 8 for the back row removal, and it's tough. It's tough to deal with it, and congratulations regardless to both. To be fair, it all came down, I think, to game one, and no Runick cards at all for his opponent, which made it too much on upfield battle. And yeah, still, 4-2 record is not the end of the world. You gotta keep your composure, try your best, and playing on stream, we mentioned it, is never easy. We saw it once again with the Naturia Blessing being activated with the Dark Angel on field, unfortunately. But it's still a show of dominance from the hero deck. So I'm sure, hopefully, we will see more of it. We mentioned it. We have so many duelists this weekend from all over the world, so many different decks. And who knows what will be in the top 64. Only then we will find out. But thank you guys for being with us. This was round 6 of YCS London 2023. We have Ed ready with Joseph. So thank you for being with us, and let's hear it from the winner.
Thank you very much, Marcello. Yes, I am joined by Joseph, the winner of round 6 feature match just there. Congratulations, Joseph. You were just telling me before we came on camera, this is your first YCS in the UK. You had a feature match, and now you're 5-1. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling very good. I mean, any day I get to normal summon Stratos is fantastic. A hero lives is truly my blood. But I'm very happy that I was able to perform, and I'm very happy that I got to show off the list against something really good, Runick Naturia.
So, because you are 5-1, what were the decks you've gone up against? What were the wins against, and what was that one loss against?
The loss was to Sprite. Sprite has been evolving so much in the last couple of weeks. It's been hard for me to get a handle on. I expected people to pivot to the Lima version of the deck list, and I was sorely mistaken. People just playing a very heads-up, consistent variant. One person snuck a win off of me. Outside of that, it's been more Naturia Sprite or Naturia Runick, and I played against a Naturia 4-hire as well. It's an unbelievable deck. Shouts out to Cursed Eyes for pioneering a lot of the theory with that. It's a wonderful list.
That was a very concise answer, Joseph. We appreciate that. What is it about Hero that you like? Because we were watching you play testing some of this last night. It's clearly been a favorite of yours. It's a very high-value deck. Look, because I really like the alternative art, polymerization, and all the nice rarities you've got in there. What is it that you like about the Heroes?
Very shiny deck. Love it a lot. I have for a long time been struck by just how powerful Stratos is and has remained for about a decade. It's just shocking. Almost no other card has that type of longevity, and you know I want to take advantage of it while a card like that is legal, so very happy to be performing with it.
Absolutely. So let's go through your performance in these games. So game one, we had the Dark Angel from you, and there was one where Philipp forgot about Dark Angel's effect and tried to activate the spell, but managed to link that away into the Donna. You built a really great field with the Phoenix Enforcer, the Cross Crusader, Plasma, Sunrise to Surge, Miracle Fusion, Wake Up. Just a huge field, and he had to scoop. So at that point, what are you feeling?
So that hand I opened Increase. Someone talked me into playing one, and for you who did that, how could you do this to me? But board was still good. Dark Angel is an FTK against a lot of the field. Unfortunately, not this deck, as it does have the Donner in the extra and ways to get monsters out. Unfortunately, a lot of the wins you get with the deck is unfamiliarity with that card in particular. It is worded so interestingly. Like Cerulean Skyfire, it negates at the point of resolution, which is hard for some players to grapple with.
Interesting. So then we move on to our second game. This was a little bit difficult because there was all of the Naturia stuff. And there was you did manage to imperm the Naturia Beast at one point, but I think you just decided after that Fusion Destiny got ashed, you just wanting to get into game 3 at that point?
No normal in that hand. I was staring daggers at my opponent. I was like, if you have Ash Blossom, I need to see it. We got to get to game 3. I can't win a game in time when a hero lives twice. But we did get to do so.
And you did. And then we go into that game 3. Just another amazing, huge field to start off with from you. That anti-spell fragrance really crippling against the, the Runick decks. That's always good. It was quite difficult because obviously as time was ticking down, you had fewer and fewer life points because of some of your effects. And with only 3 minutes to go was when you managed to get him down to 400 life points, and then that was pretty much sealing the deal. So even though you were feeling quite confident and you had the momentum, were you feeling nervous about the risks with the life points at all?
Horrified. I don't think there was a line to lethal that third game. I'm sure someone on the internet will correct me. But there was a way to get him down to 400, which I was like, okay, that's probably good enough if time becomes an issue. In game 3, Hero really is a transformative deck. It turns into Rivalry and Anti-Spell and a whole host of powerful cards that are great going first and much better with Destroyer, Phoenix Enforcer. They'll never get any of the quick play spells off of the races if you keep popping them before they're online.
Well, fantastic. Congratulations again. A very eloquent interview from you, sir. Are there any decks that you're slightly nervous about going up against? You said you've had a lot of Naturias and things and Runicks, but are you nervous about maybe Kashtira or anything like that with your deck?
Kashtira is a very easy matchup for this deck because of Dark Angel. The decks that I am the most scared of are Labyrinth. I have a very poor board plan against that, especially if they have Lord of the Heavenly Prison. And Sprite builds that are playing very close to the ground are an issue for me as well. But everything else I feel confident against.
Well, best of luck with the rest of those Swiss matches. Maybe we'll see you in the Top Cup with this Hero deck. It would be exciting to see Heroes go that far. But once again, congratulations. Guys, don't go anywhere because we have another interview coming up for you in just a moment. But before that, we have a special announcement.